What's up, Taurus? Welcome to your November 2020 Creativity Tarot reading. My name is Kaylee Jean, and welcome to my channel. I record these readings for artists, entrepreneurs, and anyone who's working on their personal growth, self-expression, or spirituality in any way. So if you're interested in entrepreneurship, making things happen for yourself, definitely stick around. Let's get into your meditation. So while I was tuning in for you guys, I was getting this really funny impression of, it was like, I was seeing kind of like steps coming down from almost like a big shared building. I don't know if it was like an apartment building or what, but there was just this kind of building, and it had this sort of regal aura of community and honorability almost, which is kind of funny. And everything I get in my meditations is very symbolic. So, I'm not saying that this is necessarily an exact place for everyone who I'm tuning in for with this reading, but it's more just a symbolic energy of the door opening on this building, and it's almost like a younger person comes out and walks down the steps and then turns around and looks back, and the person inside is saying, yeah, you got it, you can go, get out of here almost, but in a good way. So I almost feel like some of you are either graduating. I know this is kind of like an unusual time for people to be graduating, but the feeling is either graduation or stepping out on your own after having had a mentor, or maybe even a chapter in your life that was more to do with self-development is turning into a new chapter of your life, which is more about exploration and making offerings to others. Right? So whether you are literally a student or kind of a student of life in some way where you've just been working on yourself for whatever reason, it's almost like this energy is like, whoa, this door is opening and you're kind of going out into the world. Or maybe it's a different situation for some of you where you're sending your son or daughter off to school, or they're starting and embarking on a new journey for themselves, or maybe you as a mentor are letting somebody who's been under your wing, they're kind of going off on, you're kind of giving them your blessing and saying, no, you're ready, you've got this. So there's something about that coming through. And if you are the person going out into a new chapter, maybe you are either way, honestly, but if you're the person going out into a new chapter, it's like the message that I'm getting for you is to really visualize what you want the next phase to look like for yourself, because you can create that, Taurus. I really feel that there's this message coming through of be true to your dream, because you have what you need. You've done the work. You've done probably years of training or development or self-development. I think that you're ready for taking a leap, and it is a different thing. It feels like a very different thing, but it also is something that you have prepared yourself for, I really feel. So it's not something that you need to worry, am I ready? I get maybe some of you are feeling that, but I also feel like it's important for you to kind of allow yourself to just experience life in a very immediate way right now, and allow yourself to embrace a little bit of spontaneity perhaps as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at your cards, and we'll get some more information. Of course. I'm going to get your Animal Spirit Oracle card. Okay. And your Bob Ross message. Taurus, Taurus. And the Sacred Destiny Oracle card as well. These cards are great because they give us the landscape that you're in. So let's take a look at your path card. We have the unicorn. I think this came up for you guys recently. And your challenge is the mouse. That's so funny. Well, I feel like this is really just obvious and direct. So I'm just going to say, Taurus, I think that you are being asked to, number one, trust in your unique kind of quirky vision for yourself, obviously with the unicorn and the message that came through in the meditation about like trusting the dream that you have, whether that dream is to become a medical doctor or to become a full-time artist or an oracle or to start, you know, an empire, a real estate empire, whatever it is. This is about trusting your concept for yourself, trusting your vision for your future. I feel like the horn on the unicorn it's like a projection into the future. It kind of in a way represents will, like the divine will within the individual that says, no, I'm going this way. Even if all the other horses around me think I'm crazy, this is where I'm going. This is the direction that I'm pointing myself in because I just feel drawn to it. And I don't need another explanation. I don't have to defend it. I don't have to explain myself. I'm going to go be a unicorn over here. And so that looks really good to me. You know, it does. It really feels like this is an important time for you. And we do have, you know, this crazy full moon coming up on Halloween, depending on whenever you're getting this. I'm filming it in October. So that is going to be in your sign conjunct Uranus as well. So, I mean, this is definitely a Uranian kind of card. It's about being different, not being afraid to be a trailblazer, you know, and liberation as well can look like, you know, the mystical unicorn. It's almost like a cliche archetype in a way of, you know, just being a unicorn is just like doing your own thing. So that's definitely in alignment with your astrology that we have coming up. So with the mouse, your blockage here is, again, it's a feeling of a lack of maybe trust in your competency or in your capabilities for some reason. Like, I feel maybe there's a timidity with this as well that I'm getting, but look at these lights around here. I love the way that this card is illustrated because when we feel the smallest, when we feel the least capable, or when we feel the most timid, it's important to remember that there are always support systems around us, right? We're not actually alone in anything. And it's really important to remember that that's true, not only in a physical sense. There are always people that we can reach out to. There are always deals we can make. There are always solutions in a mundane, practical sense. And there are also those synchronicities and those little sparks of magic that happen in our lives that help us to be put on a better path. You know, luck is real. Synchronicity is real. These things happen, and whatever you believe is behind that is up to you, but just trust that there are magical forces that can align you with the perfect situations at the perfect times, okay? So you're supported in making this vision a reality. So we've got the Nine of Wands with the Nine of Swords. So 2 nines as you start the month. Wow. 2 of Coins and Temperance. King of Coins, 4 of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 3 of Coins. Fascinating. So you guys have a lot of coins and a couple Wands cards with a sword card as well, and some couple majors. So it is kind of a major month. It's not like incredibly stressful. I think if anything, the first part of November is the more challenging part because you have these 2 nines. And the Nine of Wands, this is a different kind of deck than I normally use, but I love it because it was published in 1929, and I just love traditional historical decks. But this is basically a pip deck, so it's numbered but I love the geometric shapes, so it gives you a lot of room to explore. And I think with the Nine of Wands in the beginning of the month with the Nine of Swords, what you're exploring is a feeling on the one hand of like intense pressure, perhaps, of the things that you have to do and feeling boxed in, like you've almost boxed yourself in some way, like because of choices that you've made in the past, you've put yourself in this position, and now it's like it's not a bad position, but it does feel to me like you are feeling the pressure of the fact that multiple lines of fate and multiple lines of cause and effect have kind of what's the word? They've connected in this almost like this dot, right? It's like an intersection, and you're in the middle of it, this intersection right now of fate, and it can feel like a lot of pressure to make the right decision when you're at that intersection, because whichever way you turn or however you move forward and however you approach your life, it's going to draw in all these different parts of your life, really, is what I feel from this. And one thing that I want to say about these swords on the Nine of Swords, I feel like it's about thinking about balance for you right now, Taurus. It's about thinking about what is the most measured, calm, almost relaxing way to move forward. Rather than focusing on the things that feel like limitations or the things that feel like pressure, I want you to think about what makes your life easier and just unapologetically move into that. Whether it means, okay, I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z anymore because it's just not working for me. I need to do a wholesale change with that. Or it's about an attitude shift, going from I feel like I need to please everybody and make sure that everybody's happy to, well, if they really need something, they can just ask me. Right? Like that's kind of the energy that I get is going to be, because you have to, when life puts you in this position of having more going on, or more pressures or more limitations, you have to figure out what you can let go of and what you can reprioritize. So that's kind of the energy. And then, that's echoed again with the Two of Pentacles, which is a change card in the physical world. And you've got Temperance. So again, these are very much two cards that I would say have a very strong energetic mirroring. Like they're basically almost the same card, except the Two of Pentacles is more the mundane expression of like the changes, the real changes you would make in your life, and the Temperance card is the feeling of it. So with the Two of Pentacles, this could be about balancing a lot of different things, or balancing two main projects that you're just going to focus on. It could also be about being flexible when it comes to either your pricing or your offerings as an entrepreneur or as a business owner. You might have to make some adjustments there that are reflective of the overall flow that your life is taking you. So maybe with COVID, if you're an entrepreneur and you have a business that has been affected in some way by COVID, you might be looking at how you can evolve a flexible pricing strategy, for example. Or you could be looking at, okay, now that people are in the situation that they're currently in, what's the ease of flow for my people to continue working with me from where they are now, right? Like this is all about removing obstacles to the flow. This is all about getting those obstacles out of the way and taking the path of least resistance for you as an entrepreneur. And sometimes you have to think about like other people when you're assessing that. So what's the path of least resistance for you, Taurus, given the new parameters that you're dealing with? And go with the path of least resistance without any apologies, all right? I want you to be totally unapologetic. You can still be kind and you can still be compassionate and empathetic, but don't be apologizing for the fact that you have to adapt to a new lifestyle. Because, it's not your fault. If something's changing, it's changing in your environment, and you, to protect yourself and your business or your finances, you have to evolve. So don't be sorry about that. You know, it's not your fault. The third week of November, we have right around kind of like actually the end of the second week, we have the new moon in Scorpio. And for you, that's kind of showing up with the Temperance energy, but we also have the King of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. So this is actually a really nice card. And the King of Pentacles, you know, one thing that is coming to mind with this is actually that for you, the new moon in Scorpio is technically going to be in your 7th house. So there could be some kind of change when it comes to your partner's money if you're married. And it may, like, you know, it could be whatever kind of partner you have, maybe even a business partner or a roommate or somebody that you share expenses with, or a marriage partner, or even like a co-parenting situation. There's some kind of positive energy I feel coming through in your partner's finances. Or it could be that you are entering into a partnership of some kind around the middle of the month, and it feels like something that's going to provide some stability for both of you. So whether you're getting an investor, right, like because the King of Pentacles can be an investor, or it's somebody that you're married to or in a relationship with, again, could be male or female, but they could be coming into some kind of success, which is affecting you in your life in a positive way. So that looks actually very, very nice. And again, I'm going to, because there's a square on the Four of Batons, which is the Four of Wands, I do feel like this is actually a really good energy of stability for you. I think it's maybe bringing in some parameters or some limitations that you have to work with, but it's overall, it's creating like legs for the table, so to speak. It's putting something into motion, which is going to be there for the long run. Okay. That's kind of what I'm seeing there. I do feel like this is a good thing overall. Even though, you know, it can come, like I said before, with its limitations. And I am just reading that card very intuitively, just based on the symbolism and the fact that it came up with the King of Pentacles. So with the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Pentacles at the end of the month, this is kind of what I would call, I guess, a little bit of like a universal energy. There's a feeling of fate with these cards at the end of the month. And it is going to be about working together with others in a like fruitful way where you can both benefit from the efforts that you both are expending so that you are more than the sum of your parts, right? And this comes after a potential kind of partnership sort of opportunity that is providing maybe some limitations, but also some structure and something positive. I feel like here you're looking at the potential fruits of that relationship beginning to take shape. And it can feel like destiny, or it can feel like something coming together in a very synchronistic way and in a very cosmic way almost. It's like, wow, that feels like it was just meant to be. But it is, you know, you have Saturn in the cube here, so it is, again, like binding. Like there could be something legally binding at the end of the month for you, or in the second half of the month, where you're like, okay, you know what, I'm going to sell a percentage of my company, or I'm going to sign this contract, or I'm going to buy this, you know, whatever, and it requires a purchase contract or something along those lines. And it's like, but the limitation, I feel, is giving you something positive. Okay, it's giving you something to work with. So your Bob Ross message is, use absolutely no pressure, just like an angel's wing. That's this Temperance energy in the middle of the month for you. It's all about being easy on yourself. It is all about, what did I say? The path of least resistance. That's what this is all about for you, Taurus. Just take the path of least resistance, knowing that you are competent and that you are capable of committing yourself to new routines and new obligations and new patterns, especially if they are going to be easier for you and more aligned for you than the ones you were previously working with. Yeah, and then you've got the transformation card. So, a really beautiful way to end the reading. You are going through a transformation, so you need to be gentle on yourself right now. Things in your life are going to look different by 2021, okay? But this is an energy of becoming. It's a positive energy, it's a positive message. You are in the landscape of great change. And sometimes it's fast and sometimes it's doable, and sometimes it's slow, but you're in that process. So just be aware of that and be kind to yourself, because you might need to be a little patient, that you are going through big changes. Okay, Taurus, I hope this reading was helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments if you have any feedback. You can also like and subscribe to this reading if you got something useful out of it, and I will see you next month.